Hey guys, I'm 53 with post-menopausal skin and fibromyalgia. On my low energy days, I need my makeup routine to be effortless and I want it to make my skin not feel dry like the desert or greasy like an oil slick. Primers can be a big help in that department to either add some hydration or to mattify. I do need to go through my primer collection, so I thought today would be a good day to do that with you guys. So this is my primer collection here. I just had an upset, so I'm just going to try and hang on to everything here. So I wanted to go through today and see what works, what I like, what I don't like, what can I declutter, and are there any that I could put aside to start a project pan. So let's get into the primers today. Hi, my friend. I'm Donna, a chronically ill makeup loving geek, and if you find makeup therapeutic like I do, I'd love to see you again, so please hit the subscribe button and join our Fibro Beauty community. So now let's get into a primer refresh. I'm going to sort my primers into categories and see how many I actually have. So I'll start taking them out and hope they don't roll all over the table. So what I learned from all the beauty content that I've consumed is that some people swear by primers and some people think they're just a complete waste of time and money. So my take is that there's no question that a good skincare routine is what makes the biggest difference to how your skin looks and how your makeup is going to lay on top of your skin, along, of course, with the obvious drinking lots of water and what you're eating. But sometimes good skincare just isn't enough on my mature skin. So I don't know about you, but since menopause, my skin can kind of go any which way. It can be dry or oily. And of course, now the fine lines are wrinkles. Now, primer's not the end all be all, but a good one can help hydrate or control the oils, blur texture, and kind of keep everything looking fresh. But if I'm fatigued, I'm just skipping it altogether. So let's put that over there. Let's count how many we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17 primers. Okay. So I think I'm going to sort them into categories to what I think makes sense. So I've got glowy primers, I've got some mattifying, pore filling, and blurring primers, and I'm grouping these all as in one category because most of them have a matte finish to them. Hydrating, gripping, that goes in with the glowy, and then color correcting. I can't deal with the glowy primers because there's too many. That's going to make my brain explode right now because it's really late at night. Let's start with hydrating primers. Okay, so the hydrating primers are really more of a skincare category in my opinion. So if you've got a good skincare routine, then you don't really need any of these. But I'll use these if my skin is extra dry one day. So this is the NYX Plump Right Back with Electrolytes. It's a plumping serum and primer. And I would say it definitely does feel serum-like, and I think it's good for any skin type. So I'll show you what it's like. So it's a gel-like consistency, it's definitely plumping, and it doesn't take too long to blend, but it does take some time to sink in. Now I've got quite a large swatch there, but you can see that once that sinks in, that's going to be pretty hydrating. It doesn't pill under any of the foundations I've used it with, so that's great. It's got a light floral fragrance, which I really don't care for, but it doesn't irritate my skin, and it dissipates after it dries down on the skin, but it does take some time to sink into the skin. So would I repurchase? I would say no. I'd rather spend my money on a good moisturizer. I definitely think it's mature skin friendly because it does add a nice extra layer of hydration before makeup. And am I going to keep Declutter or Project Pan? I think I'm going to keep it because it's serum-like. I'm going to move this one to my bathroom upstairs and use it as part of my skincare routine and to use it up. Okay, so that's that one. And then this one is actually an empty. I did go through this one. So this is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Eye Base Primer. So this is an eye one. She does have, or there is a face base one that I've used a sample of before, which is really nice. Again, it's more of a moisturizer and skincare than a primer. It does sit really well under makeup, and I find the same thing with the eye base. So I would put this on just before doing my makeup as another layer of hydration under my dry under eyes and give it time to soak in. It's a moisturizer, basically. Like I said, it's got hyaluronic acid, vitamin A to help smooth fine lines, vitamin E, which is supposed to be an antioxidant, and caffeine, which supposedly reduces puffiness. It does, it does have a light citrus scent, even though there's nothing left in the container. You can totally smell it still. It's not strong. And it doesn't last, but I love that citrusy smell. It's really nice. And again, like I said, you do have to give it time to soak in before you put concealer on. Otherwise, it's going to slip around, and it's very expensive. So would I repurchase? Yes, I love it, but I would like to try and find a more affordable option. Is it mature skin friendly? Yes. With all the skincare ingredients, it's really very moisturizing, and I love it. And it's going to be a declutter because it's empty. So nice. That one over there, and this one can go upstairs to the bathroom. Okay, so next category will be color correcting primers. So I don't tend to use these under skin tints just because a skin tint doesn't have a high enough coverage to it, and I'm paranoid I'm going to look like Kermit the Frog because these are green color correctors to cover up redness. So this one is the Makeup Forever Redness Corrector. It says 24-hour base, soothing redness correcting base. So let's give it a swatch. So you can see this is a really runny formula. It's a pale green. Oh, it smells like vanilla cake batter. I freaking love that. So I don't have any redness on my hand really, but you can get an idea of how what the intensity of the green is. So it is very lightweight, and it's a hydrating formula. I don't feel it on my skin, which I love because I really hate feeling makeup on my skin. They say it's for fair to light skin tones. Darker skin tones, I'm not sure if it would leave a green cast. Let me know in the comments if you have a darker skin tone and have tried this, if it leaves a cast to your skin. So you can rub it in a fair bit more than what I'm doing on my hand here. Let me try rubbing it in more here. You can see there I've left it kind of a little bit, and this side here I've rubbed it in a little bit further. So it has a very light coverage for my redness. You can layer it a bit with itself or another primer on top, but I would, if that's the case, I would tap it in and tap over it for a second layer and not rub it in. So my final thoughts, would I repurchase? No, but if you only need a light color correction, it would probably work. I'd like something that covers my redness a little bit more, but I do like it. And is it mature skin friendly? Yes, I do find it hydrating. Some green color correctors I've used before that have been really thick, I do find drying. And while I keep Declutter a Project Pan, I will keep it. So I think that's a good one to keep. And then this one is the Dr. Jart Cicapair. Is that how you say that? Color correcting treatment, and this is just a mini that I got. And this one is almost like a paste. And let's put that one here. So it's not too thick, in my opinion, but it's thicker than the Makeup Forever one. So you can see there a little bit the different consistency. It's also a little bit of a brighter green. It has a sort of bright, citrusy, medicinal smell, but it doesn't last and it doesn't irritate my skin either, which is good. It does have an SPF of 30. You get a little bit of extra skin SPF protection along with your regular SPF. It has a medium coverage, so I do prefer this one to the Makeup Forever because this one does cover my redness a little bit more, and it goes on green, but it does turn beige once it's rubbed in. So you can see there, right there, it's just turned beige. So you wouldn't get a green cast, but still you'd get the benefit of the redness color correcting. But this is crazy expensive. So my final thoughts, would I repurchase? Yes, because it has has the medium coverage that I'm looking for. I really like that. Is it mature skin friendly? It's a natural finish, and I don't find it drying like some other thicker green color correctors that I've tried in the past. So, and I think it has decent coverage. I have tried it on hormonal acne, and it's covered quite well. And keep declutter project pan. This is going to be a keep. Okay, so there's 2 categories down. So if you're over 50 and or have a chronic illness, do you use a primer? Is that part of your routine, or do you just skip it on low energy days? Let us know in the comments below. And which one's your favorite? I think I need to move you guys a little closer here. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so gripping primers, I have the one. This is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer with 4% niacinamide. It's described as a sticky gel-based primer. And the niacinamide is supposed to help even out skin tone and brighten, and it's good for any skin type. So this one is also a gel kind of formula. And it is thick and sticky, so that'll tell you it has good grip. So you know, with the tackiness there and the stickiness, that's gonna hold on to your makeup well, and I do find it really helps with longevity. It doesn't pill under any of the foundations I have, which is nice. So the e.l.f. is a really good price point, and the 4% niacinamide, I didn't notice any brightening features or evening out of the skin tone, but it's a primer, not skincare that you'd be using every day. So, and keep in mind, some people are sensitive to niacinamide, and I find right now niacinamide is found in almost every type of skincare product and sometimes makeup products like this primer. So just keep that in mind if you have a sensitivity to niacinamide, but they do have an original Power Grip primer that's green and that doesn't have any niacinamide in it. So would I repurchase? Yes, but I think I would try the green version next just to try something different. Is it mature skin friendly? In my opinion, yes. It helps definitely with the longevity of your makeup and doesn't dry out my skin. And will I keep Declutter or Project Pan? This one I'm going to keep. Perfect. Another one bites the dust. So the next one, let's do the matte, pore filling, and blurring primers. So like I mentioned, I'm going to combine these into the one kind of matte category because most of them have a matte finish. Not all of them, but most of them. So all of these primers here are described that they're good for all skin types. But if you have dry skin, let me know in the comments below if you found a good mattifying primer that works for you with dry skin. Okay, so the first one I'm going to start with is the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Primer. So this one is a silicone-free jelly-like formula. So you can see that it has a little pink cast to it. It's very smoothing and blurring. So you can see how that's kind of smoothing out the little pores on my hand there. So it really does what it claims. It's blurring, and it does a good job of minimizing pores. It has a matte finish, and it does control my oils, but it doesn't clog my pores, which is great. And there's no fragrance to that at all, which is nice. I do find that I have to use a fair amount of the product though to get the full benefit of the blurring and smoothing. So would I repurchase? I'm not sure. It's kind of new to my collection, so I do want to test it more under more foundations. I do have the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Foundation, I think it's called, and I have only used this primer under that foundation, but I do think it works really well to smooth and blur. Is it matte skin or is it mature skin friendly? It does smooth out some of the fine lines on my face, so I would say yes, and this is going to be a keep. So the next one is the MAC Studio Fix Mattifying 12-Hour Shine Control Primer. Oh, I'm having a hard time speaking. I always forget. Does that twist off? Yeah, that twists off. Oh, let's wipe off that Huda Beauty one. Maybe we'll use the other hand on this one. All right, so let's give this one a swatch. So this one is yellow in color, and I bought this one specifically to go under a very glowy foundation that I have because I found it was a bit too much glow for me, especially in the summertime. So I wanted to just bring down the glowy level of it, and I like it for that. It does really work to mattify, so that's great. It's blurring and smoothing too, and it doesn't clog pores. And it's more of a lotion texture, not a jelly texture like the Huda Beauty is. So I don't know if you can tell there at all. But it is blurring and smoothing. I'd say it's not quite as blurring as the Huda Beauty though. So would I repurchase? I'm unsure. It's kind of new to me. I need to test it more. I especially want to test it in the summer months to see how mattifying it is. But from what I've tested, it does what I needed it to do. Is it mature skin friendly? I think so. It's smoothing, but I'm not quite sure yet if it's drying or not. It doesn't appear to be like too drying, but I would like to test it more to make sure. And will I keep Declutter or Project Pan? I'm going to keep it. So I'm not doing so good on the Declutter part right now. So then the next one is I have a little mini of this Makeup Forever Pore Minimizer Primer. It has a natural finish. My hand is nice and hydrated and blurred from all the other primers. Oops. Yeah. And this one has that vanilla cake batter smell to it again. I just love it. It's more of a cream formula, so you can kind of see there. And it is a beige, so there's no cast to it. And this one you could kind of tap, you could rub or tap and press into the skin, especially around my nose. I like to press it in around my nose so that I'm not like kind of wiping it away. I think it's very pore blurring and it doesn't clog my pores, which is good. So I would repurchase this one, and I do think it's mature skin friendly, maybe unless you have really dry skin, but I think that does a nice job of smoothing and blurring. And I'm going to Project Pan this one. It's a mini and I feel like I could have success with that. So first Project Pan. So I'm going to move that one over with my empty and the one that's going up to the bathroom to use as skincare. The next one is the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. So they do have a solid version of this, but I wanted to try the liquid. So let's see here. Let's do this one over here. So that one's very lotion-like as well. It's hydrating. It has some squalane in it, and it has a little bit of a sheen. Well, that looks like a lot of sheen, but my studio light is shining directly on that. So you do have to allow it to dry down before you put foundation on. So let's just kind of rub that in a little bit, that side there. So I'll try and see if I can let that dry down a little bit. I don't recall that being that glossy when I put it on my face. I don't notice that at all. So that's kind of interesting. So would I repurchase? Yes, I think it's a great price point. And it looks amazing paired with their soft glam foundation. It looks so good under that foundation. Is it mature skin friendly? Yes, it's not drying at all. As you can see, it's got a nice bit of glow there. And the finish isn't as matte as the Makeup Porefessional, which is this one here. So you can see that's the Makeup Forever Pore Filler, and that's the e.l.f. one beside it. So you can see one is definitely more matte than the other. And I'm going to keep this one. Yeah, let me know if you'd be interested to see a full face of e.l.f. makeup. Because like I say, this looks so nice under the e.l.f. Soft Glam Foundation. Let me know. I'd totally be up for doing that if you guys are interested to see that. So the next is the last pore filling primer, and this is the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer. So this one is definitely more putty-like. I should have done that on the other hand. So you can see there. So this one, I really do enjoy this primer a lot. It blurs and it smooths my pores. I don't know if you're getting a good sense of that there, and it is mattifying for sure. That e.l.f. one is still glowy. You can wear this one on its own without makeup if you want to just blur your pores. It's very undetectable. The only thing I don't like about it is that it clogs my pores. If I wear this multiple days in a row, I have to really make sure I do a double cleanse at night. And I mostly find it clogs my pores like around the corners of my nose. It hasn't caused any breakouts at all, but the stuff does get stuck in my in my pores, which I don't enjoy. So would I repurchase? No, it works really well and I do enjoy it. I just don't like that it kind of clogs in my pores, but I mean, that's telling me it's definitely filling in my pores, but maybe I'm just using too much too. That could be the problem. Is it mature skin friendly? I think so, especially if you have larger pores, and I don't find it drying at all. And I'll keep this one. There, so that takes care of the mattifying ones. Okay, so now we're into the category I wanted to push off as long as I could. So the glowy primers. So I only have one truly glowy primer. The others are more glow boosters, highlighters / illuminators. And I've got one glowy skin tint. But I'm going to put them all together because I use them all basically like a primer. And I actually, when I was preparing for this video, I was doing a bunch of research and making notes because I wanted to make sure I gave you guys like my full thoughts on them and what you might find beneficial. So I actually discovered I've got kind of dupes of each. So I'm going to kind of pair them off according to the dupe, I think. Whoa. Okay, don't roll away, people. Okay, so I'm going to start with the one true glowy primer in my collection, which is the MAC Studio Radiance. It's a moisturizing and illuminating silky primer. And it's kind of like a lotion. It's a very natural and very lotion-like, and it's a natural and a radiant finish. And it makes my foundation go on really smoothly. It has a light perfumey scent, but not like an artificial scent. Like this NYX one has a very artificial perfume scent. I don't know how to describe it. Almost like that cake battery scent of the Makeup Forever stuff. And this does not pill under makeup, which is great. And you can see how nice and glowy that is. But there's no sparkle or shimmer to it. It's just a nice glow. Really, really pretty. So my final thoughts, would I repurchase? I think I would, but I would like to test it more. This one is super new into my collection, but so far I really, really enjoy it. Is it mature skin friendly? Yes, I find it immediately moisturizing when I put it on my face. It's like skincare, really. And will I keep Declutter Project Pan? I'm going to keep. So then that's the only one that I don't have, I'll say, like a dupe or a comparable product. But the next ones I do. So the rest of these are all more like the Illuminator or / highlighter type of products. So they can all be used in multiple ways. So they're good on their own. They can be just used all over the face or on the high points of the face, a little bit of powder, and you're good to go. You can mix any of these in with your favorite moisturizer. You can apply them under foundation for that glow from within effect. You can mix it in with your foundation, or you can use it as a traditional highlighter and not as a primer at all. So let's get into the illuminators. Let's start with, I'm going to move these ones to the side, and let's start with the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter and the e.l.f. Halo Liquid Glow. No, the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. So these two, in my opinion, are the closest to each other that I have in my collection. Okay, so the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. This is a mini that I bought. The other bottles, I think, are fairly comparable to the e.l.f. bottle, which take a very long time to go through. This is a very iconic, glowy product, and I would say it's more of a glow booster than a primer. So it's got a little wand. And I'll put a nice kind of thick swatch there. And it's more of a glow booster, like I say, but it can be a really intense highlighter too, in my opinion. It's liquid. It's got a slightly oily formula, but not in a bad way, I don't think. Kind of rub that in so you can get a sense of it there. My shade is the shade Too Fair, and it looks a little silvery on my skin tone. Again, it's kind of hard to tell because I've got the bright light shining on it, but it does come in 12 other shades, which is pretty decent, I think, to cover a lot of different skin tones. My final thoughts, would I repurchase? Yes, but I would do another mini for sure. And I think I'd do it in like the next shade down or like one of the light shades instead of the fair. It does take a long time to go through and it's expensive. So I recommend anytime you can buy a mini of something, do that. Is it mature skin friendly? Yes. If your skin looks dull, this is definitely going to give it a really radiant, shiny glow. And will I keep Declutter or Project Pan? I'm going to Project Pan this one. So I'm going to move it over with my other Project Pan one. So then the next one, which I think is comparable, is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. So this is quite a large bottle. Again, doe foot applicator. And I'll swatch that one next to. So this one's a different shade, but the finish is pretty similar in my opinion. So it'll take a long time to go through this. My shade is shade 2, Fair Light. So it's a lightweight radiant formula. And I think it was last year in 2024 when they expanded their shade range to 11 shades. So that was really good. And it's got a comparable dry down and radiant finish like the Charlotte Tilbury, in my opinion. They're obviously different shades, but this one actually gives me a little bit of a light kind of coverage almost as well. There's nothing wrong with the formula. It's just not quite as cosmetically elegant as the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, but I think it's an excellent alternative, especially for such a good price point. But you can see, to me, they're fairly similar finish. So would I repurchase? 100% I would repurchase this. And is it mature skin friendly? It is, but like I say, if I'm being super picky, it sits slightly more on top of the skin versus the Charlotte Tilbury. And am I going to keep Declutter or Project Pan? I'm going to definitely keep. Okay, so the next two I'm going to compare are the Saie Glowy Super Gel Lightweight Dewy Multipurpose Illuminator and the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Glotion. So these two, in my opinion, are comparable. So let's do the Saie. I'm going to do this on this hand. So we'll do that one here. So the name kind of says it all. It's like a jelly. It's a gel-like formula. It's very lightweight. I think it's more lightweight than the Charlotte Tilbury and the e.l.f. And it's a very dewy formula. I don't feel it on my skin. It's got, I would say, a high sheen, glossy finish. And the shade I have is Star Glow, which is kind of like a champagne color. I really like the color of this. I really like the shade. And that one comes in 4 other shades. Would I repurchase? I think so, but I do want to test it more. I haven't tested it under a lot of foundations, so I just want to know that it doesn't make anything pill, just where it's kind of got that gel formula to it. So far, so good. And is it mature skin friendly? Definitely. I think it gives a really glass-like, plump kind of finish, I think. It could be texture enhancing, so that's another thing I want to test a bit more. A lot of the glowy primers or illuminators can enhance texture, and what I mean by that for me is I've got a lot of crow's feet around my eyes, so if I'm using this as a highlighter, it can definitely accentuate that, but honestly, the crow's feet are there, so and I'm definitely going to keep this one. So the next one is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Glotion. This is one of my favorites. I really like this one. I've mixed this one in with moisturizer, foundation. I love the look of it. And it's very lightweight on the skin as well. There. So slightly different shade, almost a little coppery, but I think the finishes are quite comparable. Again, I think it's a very dewy, glossy finish, similar to the Saie. So that's the L'Oreal and that's the Saie. My shade is 902 Light Glow, and this one also comes in 4 shades. Would I repurchase? Yes, most definitely. This one I get the most use out of, I would say. And is it mature skin friendly? Like I say, yes, I think so. It gives a very natural hydrated glow, especially when mixed in with moisturizer. And will I keep Declutter or Project Pan? Again, a keep. Okay, so we're down to the last two primers. So I've got the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Perfector 4-in-1 Glow Makeup. And then what I think is comparable that I have in my collection is the MAC Strobe Dewy Skin Tint. So this is a skin tint. The Maybelline, okay, so first off, one thing I hated about it was it came with a sponge applicator on the top, which was great in the beginning, but then I think bacteria gets in it and it was really kind of grody. So I ripped that off. It does have like an arrow so you know how to turn it on, and then I always just turn it back because I think it keeps it from coming out of the end. Anyway, this one you can use as a primer, a concealer, a highlighter, or a BB cream. I forget really what a BB cream is, but I think it's kind of like a very lightweight foundation, like super lightweight foundation that's more like a moisturizer. That's my take on it anyway, but I can see why they say it can be used as a BB cream because it does to me feel like a moisturizer. Whoops. Okay, we'll just turn that off again. Hope no more comes out. It's a thicker consistency than any of the ones I've had before, so I think, again, like a BB cream. And the finish to me is a shimmery kind of a sheen, where the other ones I've mentioned are more glowy. But you can see too, it's definitely got some coverage to it, and it's got more coverage than the e.l.f. Halo Glow. And oh yeah, the shade I have is 00 Fair Light, and I think that is probably one of the darkest ones I've got, even though it's a fair light. And that one the Maybelline comes in 8 different shades. So like I mentioned, I didn't like the sponge applicator. I took it off. Would I repurchase? No, I enjoyed it, but I like other products that I have better. Is it mature skin friendly? I like the fact that it feels like a moisturizer. So in my opinion, I think it is hydrating for dry skin. And if you're looking for something with more coverage than say the e.l.f. Halo Glow or something that you'd like to wear just on its own, I think this would be it. And am I going to keep Declutter or Project Pan? This one, as you can see, I don't have very much left. So I'm all about maybe making things kind of easy. So I'm going to put this one in Project Pan because I think I can go through this one. So then the dupe I've got, well, I call it a dupe, but the one that's comparable in my collection is the MAC Strobe Dewy Skin Tint. And let's give that one a swatch. This one's, again, new to my collection, so I don't have all my thoughts formed on this one yet. This one is more runny, not quite as thick. Well, I guess the consistency, it is thicker than any of the other ones, not as thick as the Maybelline, and this one is considered a skin tint. So I have applied this one with both a brush and with my fingers, and I really like a brush application better with this one because I feel like I can work it more into my skin. And it's a sheer, creamy, illuminating moisturizer, and I think it has a shimmery finish comparable to the Maybelline. And this one comes in 14 shades, and this one is, like I mentioned, a skin tint. So I think 14 shades is pretty decent shade range, especially for a skin tint. And would I repurchase? I need to test it more, but I do really like it. I think this could be one that I would repurchase. Is it mature skin friendly? Yes, I think it's hydrating, and it does have skincare ingredients. This one has hyaluronic acid, shea butter, squalane, and vitamin E, so very moisturizing. And is it a keep, Declutter, or Project Pan? This one is going to be a keep. You can definitely tell I have a preference when it comes to primers. The glowy ones are the biggest ones in my collection. That's my biggest collection right there. Why I feel like I need so many, I don't know. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I think, the Saie one. This one is a mini too. So let's just put everything back that I'm going to actually keep in my makeup drawer. Okay, so these are all of the ones I'm going to keep. Oh, wait, I should count those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm keeping 12 in my collection. I'm going to Project Pan 3 of them. So I've got 2 glowy ones and 1 pore minimizer one. So that's 3 for my Project Pan. I'm super excited about that. And then I have 1 empty, so 1 true declutter. And then I've got I've got the NYX Plump Right Back that I'm going to move upstairs to my bathroom and put in with my skincare. I'll do a follow-up video for you guys too on some of my newer ones, so I can let you know more thoughts on this as I test them more. Thanks so much if you made it to the end. I really appreciate it. This one was a long one. If you enjoyed it, which I hope you did, give it a thumbs up. So I need to go through the rest of my collection, so I'm going to do some more collection/declutter videos. Hopefully we'll declutter a few more than we did in this primer video. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss the next declutter video. Thanks so much, guys. Remember, pace yourselves and keep going. Bye, Fibro Beauties. See you next time.